Big head, big head. Woo!
You're asleep.
Only my eyes.
And my arm.
They're weaklings. Only my eyes.
I'll take you home.
Maybe it's love.
Welcome, week 2, challenge 2. And today I find myself in the most beautiful, amazing part of Limerick called Fairy Glens Waterfall. And what we have here is a series of lovely waterfalls streaming down from the hills into the Shannon, I'm guessing. Could well be wrong. What's great about this place is you can either walk around the track all the way around the outside, it goes in a loop, and there's a bridge at the top you can cross. Or for a lot of this, you can actually just kind of clamber around the rocks to the side and walk along. It's pretty cool, it's pretty cool. This is so cool. This is the awesome kind of place where you feel like a kid, you feel like you're Indiana Jones, you're on a real treasure hunt down here. It's awesome. You got so many waterfalls flowing, so much going on, fallen trees, rocks. You got this cool kind of jagged rock edge face thing, you got moss, you got ivy growing up the walls, trees coming out the walls. It's just so cool, so cool. You know why we're here, we've got to spin that wheel. We've got to find out what today's challenge is. Now let's preface this by saying sunrise is merely in a minute or two. It's overcast and we're in a hole basically, so some real sunlight isn't going to come in for a while. We're just going to have very soft ambient light, and we're still in that blue hour really, hence why everything looks a bit bluey. So let's get the wheel out. We're going to spin the wheel. What do we reckon today? We did minimalism last week, which I really enjoyed, and if you haven't watched the Raw Wednesday where I go through editing the pictures I took from the previous photography on location vlog, then it's really interesting. Bit of an insight into what pictures come from coming out, and especially from doing this new challenge now, thinking outside the box, and a few of the images that came from that, and then how I edited them, or the kind of choices I made when editing them. Everything's subjective when it comes to photography and art, minimalism specifically, very subjective. But anyway, I digress. Let's find out today's challenge. Shoot wide open. Okay. So what have I got with me today? I've got the 100 to 400, depending, and it all depends in the focal range where you are with that one, what it open to, but it'll be fairly blurry because you're zooming in and compressing. So that'd be like f5, f6.5, something like that. Then I've got the 24 to 105, which is a constant f4, so I'll be shooting f4 if I use that. Or I got a 15mm f2. Okay, how can I use that? Okay, one to think about. So awesome. So I've come back down the stream a little bit, and I'm thinking, because it opens up here and we've got a lot going on. We've got so many little waterfalls. We've got these rocks kind of cropping out with the jagged edges, the moss on them. And I'm thinking of getting 100 to 400, zooming in to a degree, I don't know, we'll have to see that, and then using the zoom and the real kind of reach of a 100 to 400 to really compress a lot of this scene in together. But then I need to shoot it wide open, so we're going to need to choose which part of this scene we want in focus and which to blur. We'll see. It makes it interesting, that's for sure. I think I'm going to come back a bit more, and then I can get more of the scene in when I zoom in. Now I thought I'd come up higher and then I can see more of the scene looking down there, you know, getting more of it in. But I've just realised something with don't want to be saying that now, family viewing, shooting wide open. Let me show you. Okay, let me get round here. So, we're at 100mm on the 100-400, and we're at f5, which is as wide open as it'll shoot. And because everything is far away, basically, and we're not really zoomed in much, at f5, pretty much everything is going to be in focus. So, I could cheat and just take a picture like this, but I feel like the whole point of this is meant to push me. So I really need to find a composition where I'm zooming in. And for example, I was thinking something like this, where we got rocks in the foreground and then the water just behind. But even then, it's still not zoomed in much. What are we at? We're at 400mm. So really, we need something so much nearer to get that effect. So, I'm going to rethink. Okay, I think I have something with the 100 to 400 that can work. And it involved coming lower down, nearer the stream and the waterfalls, nearer the rocks, and basically shooting over the top of everything. I'll show you what I've got. Hopefully you can see that okay. Now, see how I'm zoomed in, well, 300, f6.3, which is the widest this lens will be open at that focal length. And I'm skimming over these rocks at the bottom here. I've got a small waterfall here, and then it's leading round to this fallen tree trunk and another waterfall right at the back. Now I need to choose which will be my focal point. I could have it on the rocks here at the forefront and make everything behind it look blurry. I don't think that is particularly interesting. On the other hand, I could go to the back here, to the tree trunk and the rear waterfall. That's somewhat interesting. The other option is in the middle here, this middle one. Although, as I do think that is the most interesting part of this composition, nothing else is out of focus too much. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to shoot in the middle and then at the rear. And once we get them on the computer, we'll really be able to kind of work out what we prefer. What I could add is a circular polarizer. Do I want that? Well, let's see how that looks. Haven't used a polarizer in a while. Yeah, I need a step-up ring. You know, when you haven't used anything in a while, you get what you need. There we go, 67 millimeters. Now, I'll show you why I'm putting this on in a second. And again, this is a creative choice. But need to put it on to find out what works and what doesn't. So let me record this. This is the polarizer on, but with the effect of the polarizer off. And what we have to do, I have to twist this round. And as I twist it around, you'll notice the very kind of bright spots in the waterfall there disappear, and it goes very dull. And what that's doing is removing any reflections from the surrounding area. Do we like that or not? So this is where we want to make a creative choice. Do I want it dull, so it matches in with the same colour as the rocks, which is kind of a browny colour? Or do I just want to not bother and have it off, and then really kind of it's contrasting against the rocks now? So I think the answer's obvious. We're going to have it off. We're not going to bother, we want the contrast. Okay, now we've discovered what we like and what we don't like. 300mm, we're at 2 seconds, f6.3, no polarizer, because we decided we prefer the contrast. Oh, 2 second timer, let's go. Boom. Well, I've taken a shot with the 100 to 400. Let's mix it up. Let's go really wide to 50mm f2 with the 50mm f2. Let's try that, see what happens. I wasn't even going for this composition. I just put the tripod here and was swapping over, and this is the composition that came out of it, and I kind of like it. Shooting wide open at 15mm, and there's not many lenses that can shoot this wide. F2 at 15mm, there's not many that can do that. But essentially there's a lot of light getting into that lens, and because of that, we're having fast shutter speeds. With such fast moving water, having a faster shutter speed to a degree doesn't matter, because it's still gonna look, you know, softer. But we're at 1/60th of a second at the moment. I feel that's too fast. We need to be around under 1/10 of a second, I'd say, to get that nice smoothness of water. Ideally a second. So that involves putting on some ND filters. Let's just take a shot as is, and then on Raw Wednesday we can compare these and see, you know, what we prefer. 72mm filter thread this time. Oh, that looks weird. Woo! Big head, big head. Woo! Now, with this Nisi filter set, I leave the polarizer in it because it's just faff to get in and out, but as we've discovered, I don't want it in here. So it's kind of one of the downsides to this Nisi setup. I mean, since I got this, there's loads of different filter holders out there and ways of stacking this all up, magnets and all sorts. Woo! Do not want to be breaking this. Okay, so I've already pre-focused the lens. I can't change the focal length with 15mm. We're at f2. We were at 1/8 of a second. Now with this on, I'm just going to whack it up to 30 seconds. Probably needs to be longer than that. Well, I'm going to take this shot 30 seconds and then I'll work out how much actual shutter time I need for a 10 stop. Oh, that's cool. That exposure is probably pretty good, really. It's a little bit dark, but then we're preserving some of the highlights. That's what I thought. 2 minutes, 8 seconds. I need to get this out. It's an annoying, stupid, put it into bulb mode, plug this thing in, kind of wrap it around there, because otherwise we want to do 2 minutes. 3, 2, 1. Is that taking the picture? Part of my problem with this, it doesn't always recognise. I don't get it. I've got it in bulb mode. It's triggering it to fire, but then it's not. It's just taking an instant shot. But they're all black. Yeah, got a load of black frames. Technology. I wish, to be honest, they just had an option built in the camera where instead of going to bulb, you just input a time length. Why can't we do that in this day and age? Just, oh, I want it to go on for 2 minutes. I'll put 2 minutes in. I don't need this stupid thing. Right, we're going to forget about that. But whilst I was taking some B-roll, I noticed something else. So let's take a picture of that. Now what I'm trying to do is, in this puddle, you can't see from that angle, I'm sure, but there's nice reflections of the trees above. Because of how mirrors work and things, these trees are further away than this rock, these kind of rock edge and that's directly beneath us. So if I focus on the reflection of the trees above in the water, all this in front of us will be far away, or not far away, out of focus essentially, because I'm focusing on a far away point, even though it's actually physically close to me. I'm not sure if the wide angle lens is the right one to go with, because I'm going to get a reflection of myself, but I kind of like, we got a nice triangle going on here, so I think I might actually have to do this handheld. Yeah, I can see me in it. I don't know if this is the right, well, let's just do a shot. I'm just going to focus to infinity, get fairly close. Oh, we're in bulb mode. I'm going to shoot like a stop down, so 1/25 of a second. I want to get fairly close. I'd like it to be directly down, but you're going to get your own reflection back. Let's see how that looks. So we got a mixture of it being in focus with the trees, and then kind of out of focus things in the water, the rock edge is out of focus. Kind of works. See if I can do it standing up. The trees are nicely in focus in the reflection, but then all the rocks and bits that are in the water are out of focus. So interesting. So I've taken 3 shots this morning, 4 maybe.
When you were playing that record, what were you thinking?
I still love you.
I think that was a pretty successful morning there. So this week's challenge is to shoot wide open. Hopefully you can do that. Whatever lens you've got, even if it's a phone camera, you can shoot wide open, because with a phone camera, you don't have a choice. You're constantly shooting wide open. It's a fixed aperture lens. If you really want to highlight out of focus areas on a mobile phone, you need to get real up close to a subject, and then that'll put the background out of focus, or if you're focusing on the background, it'll put the foreground out of focus. With zoom lenses as well, they help exaggerate things out of focus, even on slightly larger apertures, like I demonstrated with the 100 to 400. Whatever lens you've got, shoot wide open, experiment, see how you can use the shallower depth of field to really kind of get out of the box thinking. Yeah. So second, whoa, my teenager again. Second week in, and yet again, I'm really surprised how doing this challenge has created a new way of looking at things, or pushed me in a way to definitely think outside the box to what I normally would, look at things in a different way. For example, that very last shot, looking in the rocks with the reflection of the water. Would never have thought of that before, so it's definitely pushing me. I feel better for trying something new rather than being a bit annoyed that, you know, there wasn't any great colour in the sky or the light wasn't amazing. You know, I feel like I've come away with some really good experience. We'll see how good the pictures are, how well they stand up in the long run, but we'll look into them on Raw Wednesday. So come join me, Raw Wednesday, and we'll look at those pictures, we'll edit them, and maybe have a chat about a few things, I don't know. That's why it's called Raw Wednesday, because I'm making it up as I go along. Thank you for everyone that's been joining in so far, and let's hope more of you join in, continue to learn, build experience, and yeah, just get out, get shooting. Hashtag for this week's challenge. Post that on Instagram. Anyway, there's a tractor. Ciao for now.
When you were playing that record, what were you thinking?
I still love you.